Hey guys, how's it going? Omer here
And Daniel.
with the Diet Soda podcast.
But we don't have any diet soda today.
I was hoping I was gonna be recording at Danny's crib. I was hoping you have the fridge hooked.
Well, I got us some green tea.
But yeah, guys, we're recording after a while. I uploaded like 10 days ago or something, but we shot that on New Year's Day.
Mm-hmm.
So we're now 3 or 4 weeks into the year.
Just about.
So, a lot to recap. And, unfortunately, we're going to start off on a sad note. I'm sure all of you guys know. You guys probably seen on Instagram and everywhere on the news, the death of Kobe Bryant. We're recording today. It's 28th on Tuesday. So it happened 2 days ago. It was like late night for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, guys, it's like, super devastating. I'm repping the Kobe jersey. It was actually the first jersey I copped.
Yeah.
Years ago. I remember they came to Dubai. The Adidas was selling the NBA jersey. So a bunch of us, me and my boys, we got a bunch of them. I got this. I think my buddy got Steve Nash. A buddy of mine got Tim Duncan. It was just
And you a big NBA fan, right?
Yeah, man. It was
big one,
I couldn't believe, man. I came home. I remember it was late at night. I think I came home at 1. Came home, put on YouTube, and I saw that. I was like, what the hell? I remember and this one's a crazy one, man. Since we've had social media, things like that, and in our lifetimes, there's been a lot of celebrities that passed. I remember notably Michael Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
When that happened, that was it was worldwide, and a lot of mourning, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But this was something,
Because after in my limited knowledge, after Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant was the next super athlete.
Yeah,
man. Not just in basketball, in any sport.
So and that's the thing, So you look at the impact. When was it? Yesterday. It was the Australian Grand Slam, whatever. And it was Rafael Nadal against Nick Kyrgios. Nadal wins, and post game, you could see he was getting emotional and stuff. Nick Kyrgios, he was wearing the Bryant jersey in his press conference. I'm sure you would have seen on Instagram, Iniesta and
Iniesta,
the PSG
Messi,
players. Even the night it happened, PSG were playing. Neymar scored. He held up the 24. So you could see the impact was
definitely.
it was crazy. And the crazy thing is if you watch the NBA games, the guys on the court they couldn't take it. Because if you guys don't know, Kobe retired 3-4 years ago. So a lot of the guys was in the league now. They grew up watching him. So for them it was and I remember even just watching some of the post games, things like that. Even on ESPN, man. Some of these guys, T-Mac, Jalen Rose, it was a crazy sight to see, how emotional they would get, and they're all sharing stories, things like that.
And when you talk about the impact, man, it was everybody was putting up tributes, even from out here. Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, he put up a tribute as well.
Because
everybody.
I think when it comes to sports as compared to entertainment, things like that, I think part of why people like sports so much is I guess you can draw a lot of parallels to life. So things like the come up, taking L's, then you triumph and you win again. The hard work, dedication, teamwork. And I think all those things, and obviously, the media, they create narratives, things like that. So I think it makes it almost like a soap opera. I think that's why people connect with sports so much, because it's all these things that happen and what's going on in the background. So I think, that's, and he was that guy. He was that top elite player, He wasn't just a good player, and I think that's why it's just people is
man, he transcended the sport. Everybody knew his name. Even people who never watched the game of basketball in their lives, they'd be ask him who's the best. They'll say, Kobe Bryant.
So if you guys don't know, so basically Kobe came in the league 96, 97. He came straight out of high school. Which, if you guys don't follow basketball, normally kids, they go to college and then go to the NBA, but he came straight out of high school. Didn't start off like the best, but then like took it to another level. And in sports you have those those big names, and a lot of the sports and leagues are like star driven. And so MJ retired 98, and then it was like Kobe's turn, so he was that next guy. And obviously after him now, like we're in the era of LeBron, and then it's gonna go on. And so he was on top of the game for so long. If you guys don't know, he actually grew up in Italy. And that's why he has a lot of love for football. That's why you see him, like, he's been to a lot of these clubs, practice with these guys, like, whatever, messed around.
Swap jerseys and
yeah. And that's what, like, even for them, and I guess, like, athlete to athlete, like, they know, because he was that guy, like, the definition, of when they say, like, first one in, last one out.
Yeah.
Working, 24/8, like, you're just
Mamba mentality.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So it was yeah, man, it was crazy, man, to see. I couldn't believe it, man. And it was
41. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was so
young,
crazy,
yeah.
so you know who T-Mac is, right? Tracy McGrady.
No, man.
You probably heard him, like, in like rap and shit.
I know T-Mac, like the name, but I don't know. Yeah.
So he's also another, like, really good player. And he actually, like, he was on ESPN, he was talking about, like, because when he came in the league, he was like living with him and things like that. And like, it was crazy to see. He even said, he's like, yo, like, when we was young and we was talking about shit, he's like, Kobe even said, like, he wanted to die young. And I was like, what the fuck? And yeah, man, it was just and I mean, even just on pop culture, the Kobe, I'm sure in a lot of raps, you must have heard him. His sneakers too, like, people mess with those.
And
heavy.
everything, man. Even from the the classic, when you gotta throw something in the bin,
Kobe.
you shot Kobe, right? Yeah.
Just miss horribly. And I mean, even like hip hop and stuff, I'm sure, like, when you heard that Drake interview recently he did,
the rap radar, yeah,
he's talking about I think he's in the studio with Wayne in like the bus or whatever, and like Kobe came to get his thing. Even now I saw like Swiss Beats, he put a picture of them in the studio, Kanye and like Kobe and shit like that. Like, I think Kanye was there. So yeah, man, it was like
numerous things, man, yeah, he was a super athlete, man. He was more than the sport. And he won an Oscar for his documentary in like 2018.
That was the thing too. Like, he had so much to offer, like, and just everything. And he always spoke about it too. Like, even after like retirement, talking about, like, he was like over, like, completely over basketball. He wasn't even like coming to games. Like, he actually just started coming to games because his daughter, who also unfortunately passed away, like. Because she wanted to pursue a career in that, and she was like, showing signs of being a talent, things like that. And so he'd go with her to watch games, but like, because then he was like zoned in on the other stuff. So I think they were like, he had some sort of like thing where they like invested in like companies, things like that. He was doing these things with books and stuff. And even when he'd break down NBA and stuff, it was like a madness. Like, it was nothing like, you get the analysts doing it.
Yeah.
And a lot of players also like hit him up in the playoffs and stuff. Like, hey, like, what do you think I should do? Things like that. He'd help these kids out. So yeah, man, it was crazy. And just, I think the day before he passed, LeBron had just passed him on the all-time scoring list. Yeah. And so, he gave him, I think that was his last tweet. It was like a shout out to LeBron.
Yeah.
Which is just like, yo, that's like, crazy. So yeah, man, like, cultural icon. I mean, I could see, man, like, even just on the gram and stuff, like, looking at, what he meant to people, like, their sort of personal stories and stuff. I mean, even like talking to AB. Yo, he was like shaking up, man. He was like,
I used to see him wear Kobe's the sneakers to uni, right? Yeah.
And it's like, you had to be, like, even for me, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, during his career, there was times where like I used to hate Kobe. Because I, obviously being a fan of LeBron and stuff. But it's one of those, like, you hate out of respect because you just know, like, how it's like I hate on Messi.
Yeah.
And it's not because he's trash, but it's just because how good these guys are. So yeah, man, I mean, that was like super unfortunate. Lost a hero there, and but I mean, I definitely think, like, when you see like you know, the impact he had. I mean, all kinds of people from all walks of life coming out, you know, talking about when they had met him and things like that. Like you could see, like, you know, he really, you know, impacted like millions of people. And also he was one of those guys who like really was an ambassador for the game too. Like, you know, I mean, in Asia, and so they love him. I mean, like we live in Dubai, and you know, there's a lot of Filipinos. Dude, Filipinos love Kobe Bryant. Like that's their guy, you know. And even in like Asia and stuff, I remember like, you know, the NBA was transitioning. It wasn't as global of a sport, and he was one of those main guys who he'd go out to this, and also like, you know, because he had played in Italy, and so I think he's also fluent in Spanish, and so like he'd go out like to Europe, things like that, really like, you know, spread the sport. He was even here like I think in 2013 or something, and I think he was like they were working on some project or something. So yeah, man, rest in peace, man. It's you know, the sad week for everyone, you know, the sports world. But yeah, man.
I mean, dude, this week has been it's been a heavy week, man. Like there's been a lot of, you know, sort of negative stuff happening and just stressful stuff going on. And I mean, it's not even February yet. You know, we're still in January.
Yeah.
You know, and it feels like every time you turn on the news, there's some bad news. I mean, like
this China virus thing.
The China virus. It's the Wuhan virus now. The coronavirus. Earlier in the week, early in the month. Remember the first week of January? Everyone was talking about World War III.
Oh yeah.
You know, and well, thank goodness that didn't happen. And,
I mean, that was more like a meme thing. I don't think that was like.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, it was. I mean, for sorry.
Let me get the vape.
Oh yeah, I got you, man. It tastes pretty bad, in my opinion. This was one of the worst flavors I got. I got a bunch of good ones, but we ran through all of them, and this is what I was left with. But
yeah, so you were saying?
Yeah, I was saying. So that first week, I mean, the first couple of days, because we're pretty close. You know, we're barely 100 kilometers away. So you know, we're just thinking of. I remember the first couple of days, we're like, oh man, if something happens, you know, we're right here. And then that died down, and then, you know, everyone was talking about the fires in Australia, and then the flooding, and then, you know, all sorts of things. And now the coronavirus, you know, and
even with that, there's like all this like conspiracies and stuff, and you know, it's like a lab grown thing, and like, you know, the US and all that, which I don't think is true, because if you sort of look at the impact it had, like, I guess maybe economically, because like I guess in China you'd have to maybe close offices, things like that. But as far as like, you know,
the world,
that's going.
No, and on top of that, man, I mean, we've been here before in 2003. Although I don't remember that, but SARS, you know, it's a very similar virus. It is SARS basically. It's just a different, you know, a different kind. And
there's what Ebola like a couple of years ago. That was like a thing.
Ebola was big, and I remember when I was on my previous gig, I'd see a lot of videos of that, especially the resurgence in like 2019. You know, it's pretty.
I remember like AIDS was a big thing like growing up. Like that was like, you know, in the news and stuff
all the time. I mean, I was really young to understand. I didn't even know what that was. But the one I do remember was back in 2010. Remember when swine flu was big?
Oh yeah.
That was everyone was worried about the H1N1. Man, I'm never gonna forget that. You know, they installed what's it called? These sanitizer dispensers all over my school, and of course, you know, we were like 13, 14, and we didn't understand the severity of anything, so we just made a game out of it. Okay, we made a stupid game called Sanny Slap. All right. So how it worked was in every room, every single classroom, and even somewhere down the hallways was a sanitizer dispenser. Right. So every time you enter a room, or every time you leave a room, you have to sanitize your hands. Okay, you have to. All right. And if you don't, and people see, whoever's playing the game can put sanitizer on their hands and slap you. Okay. And I mean, you know, we followed it pretty well. And of course, some guys just forgot. And then, you know, we got to slap them with sanitizer, which was stupid enough as is.
But that shit, did it ever come here, or like in the Middle East?
Swine flu?
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Bahrain at the time, and we didn't have any cases.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I don't think it reached out here. Yeah. But see, what ended up happening was, because we were sanitizing our hands so much, what happened to me as well. I mean, I just kept sanitizing over and over again. Like my skin started to peel off and stuff like that, you know. And then we're just like, okay, guys, we gotta stop this game, you know. But I think I got slapped once with sanitizer. It does not feel good because it's cold, it's hard, and you get some in your eye, and you're like, oh man, you know.
I mean, I don't know, like, with HIV. I mean, and I even saw like people talking about it now. I think like they were talking about like in sports. Obviously this was a tragedy, and one of the ones before that was when Magic Johnson had HIV, and you could live through anything if Magic made it. So yeah, like I mean, I wasn't like around then like to experience that. I think that was in like '92 or something. But yeah, I know like growing up like AIDS was like a big deal, but I guess like now it's like it's on lock, right?
It's impacting sports as well. I think there's a UFC set to happen, a UFC event set to happen in Auckland, New Zealand, and they said they might have to cancel that.
Oh yeah, this coronavirus, yeah. I mean, I guess it's. I think they also like they do a lot of business, China, Australia, and stuff, and
there's huge tourism.
Yeah,
even here in the airports they have screenings for every passenger from China.
But I mean, what kind of screening is that? Isn't it just like a temperature check?
A quick temperature check, and I think they scan your head and stuff like that. But I mean, anyways, it takes like 2 weeks for symptoms to show. So
is it?
Yeah, and there was a lady. She got to Paris by she took a lot of meds to sort of control her symptoms.
Yeah,
she got through, and then she kind of bragged about it, and then they got her. But that was really worrisome for a lot of people. So
I think it was Paris. I think there was like one in Orange County and another one somewhere in the States.
There's one in Washington State. I know India's got one.
Yeah,
in Bombay or Mumbai, I should say. I don't know what I should say, but yeah, man.
I mean, they border, and I'm sure like business and like even in Pakistan now, there's a lot of like Chinese people doing business and stuff. So I guess
odd start, man. Odd start to 2020.
Yeah, man.
But I mean, on the side note, positive note, like I mean, how's it been for you? I guess 2020 so far, 4 weeks in almost.
2020,
just exactly 28 days, right? Yeah, 4 weeks in.
I mean, nothing like too much going on, honestly. As far as like the game stuff goes, like with the videos, like the game's sort of in a stage now where it's sort of like falling off. I mean, that's like the FIFA cycle. It's like a high for 4 months, and then it's just so now I'm just like trying to figure out like what other like kind of stuff to make. So yeah, I mean, as far as like work with this goes, I think like earlier in the month, I put in a shift. Like I had a bunch of videos and stuff, like footage, edited all that. So now I'm pretty much done. I think I have like 2 more videos to do, and then I think like the FIFA thing's gonna be a wrap. And then I don't know, probably looking to doing some other type of content. Yeah, I'm still trying to like figure out
stand up. You wanna do some stand up?
Dude, I mean, for me, that's always been like the ideal thing.
Yeah. Have you ever performed in front of people before?
I'm always performing. Not like that. Nah, I remember actually, I think it was my last year of uni, my old uni, and one of my buddies, he was doing it, and you'd be surprised. They have a lot of like open mics and shit out here.
Yeah, they have loads. Yeah.
And I remember my buddy, like he took a swing at it. And to be honest, it wasn't that good. And I remember it was like kind of weird because like, he'd ask me like, yo, what you think, blah, blah. And like, and it was like the very like, typical like, doing an accent or something. And it was like bad. Like I'd say like we're pretty decent at accents, right? Like and even like accent, but I think like, when you like sprinkle it in somewhat, it's cool. But like if that's your whole act, like,
yeah. When you just have 20 minutes of doing one accent
and like and that's what you see on like TikTok, which I'll get into. But yeah, I remember like my buddy took a swing at it, and I told him, I was like, yo, like I fucking respect the hell out of you to have the courage to like go up and do that. But then like if you're just gonna like and I remember once we went and like he just got hammered and went up, and it was kind of if I, and it's like it's one of the for me, it's one of those things like I'm also hesitant to take a swing at it because it's like if I know I do it and I bomb, like it's gonna be like crushed, because it's like okay, then the dream is almost over in a way.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be. I mean, everybody's bombed. Right?
I don't mean by bombing like for sure. Like if I was to do it at bomb, right?
Yeah.
Like the greats have done it, but it's one of those things like it's one of those things you try it, and if you like fail, you like it's not just like fail once, but if you do it a couple times, like this ain't meant for you. That's it. It's almost like you gotta like move that to the side kind of thing. As for me, it's kind of like, okay, one day, like one day, I think I might be able to do it.
One day when I'm jacked, I can go upstairs. And
I
even if I bomb, I can just
I don't even know if it's like a good thing to be jacked, because I seen these guys like Joe Rogan, Brendan Schaub talk about it, and he's like, even Joe Rogan said he tries to like dress down a bit, and like cover the tattoos, things like, because like I don't know, like when you perform, I guess like
you don't want to look too cool, I guess.
Yeah, too cool, and like even in terms of like attractiveness and stuff, like I guess like when it's a comedian, because you're like laughing at yourself, laughing at like what you see and stuff. I don't know, like I can't imagine like
I mean if you're like a Brendan Schwab, I mean how big is Schwab? Like
6'4", 6'3".
Yeah, so if he just like, normal people like us, no one's gonna buy that.
Yeah, exactly. Like can you imagine like I mean, I guess like Tom Cruise, maybe he's short, so he has that. But like,
well, not just a short thing. I mean, like,
but like Chris Hemsworth doing comedy, and even like, he's a funny guy. Like what you see on screen, it'd be like, yo, like, life's been good to you, man. Like, you don't have these woman problems. Like, get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I think like, that's one of those things that I do think like, and. But it's one of those things like, I mean, I'm looking at it now, and ideally like that's why even with YouTube it was sort of like just getting my feet wet, and I do think I want to get into somewhat of like an entertaining field, whether it's even with the podcast, maybe doing like a sports podcast, sports review show, something like that. I don't know. I do want to give this thing a try. It is like getting tough now because obviously the pressure from the parents and stuff. And obviously like not getting in bread on the regular, things like that. I'm at like a phase now where I'm like I gotta do some because I've been like going on like no job for like a while now. So I don't know. And I mean like even these kind of things like it's gonna be a while till like we start getting money from it and shit like that. So yeah, man. What about you, man? How's the year been so far?
Man, so far, I mean, aside from all the news and the the events of recent,
I see you on the gram, man. Flexing on all the haters. You see him in these like fancy hotels and shit. What's happening, dog?
No, and it's been good. I mean the first two. You want to hit the vape?
Yeah.
The first 2 weeks were a little slow because everyone was just getting back from their December holiday, so the office was a little slow. And when everyone did get back, there was a lot of work or emails that piled up and a bunch of stuff they had to do, so things were a little quiet. But I went back when I first started this gig, like back in October. I think my first week there, my boss proposed this idea for like that 73 questions by Vogue. She said she kind of wanted something like that for the brand.
Okay.
Because we had this I mean, I guess he's a celebrity in the food world, and we had him.
That old white guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys don't know, like I just seen it sort of like the behind the scenes stuff, and like he's been putting out some videos on his Instagram. And I just see like it's like these nice locations, fancy hotels, and some like old man talking.
So that guy, his name is Michael Ellis, and he's the former president of Michelin, the Michelin Guide. It's a tire company, but they're also the ones who give out the stars for restaurants, right? And now he works for us, and he's a chief culinary officer. So he's whipping all the restaurants and the hotels back into shape because he wants to bring some Michelin stars to Dubai. So we had to sort of leverage that celebrity and his knowledge because that guy is a wealth of knowledge. He's got like details about everything, about what the best conditions for sturgeon and for caviar, and where the best caviar comes from for fine dining cuisine. Because I mean, I think Iran and Russia produce the air quotes best caviar, which tastes amazing on its own, but then it's too strong for like cuisine, for example, if you want to mix and match flavors. So in that case, the best ones come from China. And I had no idea about any of this stuff, right? He's talking about oysters and all sorts of ingredients, and and it's all like sort of high class, very expensive, fine dining level ingredients, because that's his experience, right? He's been working with places with with Michelin stars, and,
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really interesting for me. I mean, look, I don't know a lot about the food world,
Yeah.
as you know. I mean, man, we'd be satisfied with like Shahi Paratha. You know what I mean?
Yo, Shahi Bar Loki is pretty fire, man. I was checking out the menu. They got this like New York chicken and rice and stuff. I was like, yo, this shit looks fire, man.
Yeah. No, man. Look, I'm not. I mean, look, I could appreciate some good food, but I've never
Yeah.
been a foodie per se. You know, and at least if I'm not the guy who's gonna, take pictures of his food and put them on Instagram or
Yeah.
anything like that. I mean, I don't even eat out that much,
Mm.
But so yeah, that was really interesting. I mean, because my boss came, she said like, "Hey, I want to do sort of like a 73 questions by Vogue style interview, and maybe do some Instagram story sets and some some other interviews." And I said, "You know what? I think I'm the guy for this because my previous gig, this is what I was doing." And then we put together some stuff back in October, and I went through process after process, getting refined. November, December, and finally, yesterday and the day before, we finally got to shoot it. So we did the Burj Al Arab, and then we did Jumeirah Al Nasim. We did a bunch of the restaurants there, and oh man, it's good, man. It's fun,
So what was like your role exactly in the whole
So I mean, pre-production, I had to write a bunch of questions. I think I must have written like 150 questions plus. And I had to get into the mind of sort of someone with knowledge of fine dining and culinary experience. So I had to read up a lot about that. I had to watch a bunch of Netflix shows. There's a bunch of cooking shows out
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Ugly Delicious is a big one by, what's it, David Chang?
Have you seen Final Table?
Nah.
Yo, that's actually a fire show.
Yeah.
Just sorry to cut you guys off, but even if you guys are interested, guys. So basically, they get like high level chef, Michelin star chefs, and even other like guys who don't have Michelin star, but they've worked at like really like crazy restaurants and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they group them in pairs. And basically, I think it's like maybe 8 or 10 episodes, and each one they go to a different place. And then they tell you like you gotta make like the dish of that country or whatever,
Yeah.
and they do it like obviously in their like so it's like stupid like they
Dude, it's a lot of work and creativity that goes into that stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
I didn't even know what perfectly cooked meant. I didn't even know what overcooked or undercooked. Okay, I definitely know what undercooked meant, but overcooked, like I mean, to me it was just like meat is meat, fish is fish, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't as basic as that, but all those sort of fine points and taste and flavor and things like that. And yeah, man, it was wild, man.
So who was like the person who's like confirming the questions as like if it was
right? So I mean, I'd write up a bunch and then I'd give
Yeah.
them to my boss, and obviously she's got more experience in the field and she knows the brand way better than I do.
Okay.
So she'll trim and reword, send it back to me and say, look, I need another 50 and I need responses. So now I had to go study this guy's interviews. I had to go find out how he would answer a question and write up scripts and responses for each answer, balancing like sarcasm and playful attitude with knowledge and expertise and things like that. And
Sounds
of course,
fun.
it was a lot of fun, man. I really look forward to that stuff. And the thing is, it did get hard sometimes because I didn't see a payoff like the next day. On my previous gig, I'd come in at 12 and be writing until 6. And then, we'd go on the air at 7 and I'd see my words being read on live TV. And that was like gratification. I felt good, and that just kept me going.
Yeah.
But it was working for months and not seeing anything. And then there was a big payoff, 2 days ago,
Oh, what they shot the interview?
Yeah, we shot back-to-back days.
And all the questions was from you?
I mean, no, not all of it was from me, and I mean, I'm not gonna take credit for all of it because there was a lot of editing that went on. But yeah, I did write up a lot of the questions. I thought of the sort of the concepts and the style we'd want to take, and it was. I mean, there was a lot of refining and a lot of editing, but it was a team effort most certainly. But it was just really fun to be involved with that, man. And then even some things like the dishes I thought of, because I'd pick stuff from the menu. I'd look at the menus and I'd pick a dish, and then he would go and say, no, we're gonna do this dish, and this is why. Because A, it's gonna look better on camera. B, it's got more complex flavors, and C, the ingredients are very exotic, so we can talk about that. And I didn't have any of that knowledge. I just picked the most interesting sounding dish, but it wasn't, so it was stuff like that. So it was a huge learning experience for me, man, definitely. And then I got to work with the film crew. So say like Sunday, I'll give you. I'll tell you what we did. So Sunday I had to be up at 4 in the morning because we had to be at the Burj Al Arab at 6 a.m. So I had to prep myself, and then I had to be there at 6, and then we'd have to go to the base camp. So they gave us one of the meeting rooms on the 27th floor, and the whole place was just for us. So we had breakfast, coffee. We had designated bathrooms. Everything was just blocked off for us, And then I had to print a bunch of schedules and a bunch of questions. Had to have like copies of everything, and then chargers. Like just stuff anybody would need, because I was essentially like an associate producer. I just had to like run around, just make sure things were good, and dude, I mean, we ate good, man. Burj Al Arab food, little gold on everything. And then, then we'd go down and sort of recon the place, make sure everything's good, make sure the dishes are on time, make sure the chef is available. And then I had to quickly coach the chef, run him through the lines. Specifically with the restaurant Al Muntaha, the chef, Frankie Semblat, I think he's got 3 stars from his previous restaurant. And he's French, and so English isn't his first language. So I had to say, like, okay, you gotta French it up a little bit, a little ooh la la here, a little joie de vivre here, something like that. Just whatever. I had to sort of make it work, and just run into the lines, practice. We do rehearsals. No, this shot looks better here. And then we were hit with that weather,
Oh yeah,
because it was wave. Oh, dude, it looked like the apocalypse, man, by the sea. Because I could see that stuff from the top, and the waves were just washing the beach, and it was just gray. And I was like, no, man, come on. I waited months for this, but then it all worked out. And then we just what's it called? The next day we were at Al Nasim, which is right by the beach, and I think you saw some videos of me at 6 in the morning on the beach, and the waves were just crashing, and it was cold, and it was really nice, man. It was like, and there's people jogging on the beach, and I was like humming Eye of the Tiger and Rocky theme, stuff like that.
The beach is lit, by the way.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing.
So,
man,
I mean, I actually used to like just sometimes like, I used to previously used to live closer to the beach. And just like, drive down to the beach, get a coffee, and like you see, it's like, it's live and well. Like there's so many people working out. Yeah. Even just like some, you see some older generation people just like, taking the walk, and just fresh air, and like, the birds, and it's nice. It's a vibe, man.
Yeah.
I like
the
that.
air, man. That is definitely
so
fresh
clean,
air.
dog.
That Arabian Gulf, oof,
It's lit, man. I actually like, I used to like that, man. I used to just like go there, like chill out in the morning.
And I got to see sort of, those 5-star dishes being prepped. I went into the kitchens, and I saw the stress that goes on.
Yeah.
And everybody shot, a chef will shout instructions, and everyone will, just like the movies, they'll be like, yes, chef. You know what I mean? Chop up real quick, make sure the presentation's good. If a guy messes up, he does the whole dish again, because if he gets some sauce, like... gets a streak of sauce where it shouldn't be, and if you can't wipe it off, start again, things like that. And then we had to do reshoots. We had about 4 of every dish just to make sure we had extras. And then say like the guy Michael Ellis, he'd take a bite, and maybe he'd get a little on his chin. We'd be like, okay, no, we gotta redo it, and there's a lot of pressure on him and stuff like that. So dude, it was a lot of fun, man. And we had to adapt questions on the fly sometimes, because say the weather was into play, and then, one of the questions would be like, oh, hey, are we going to take a swim? And he'd be like, oh, not in this weather. So we had to improv that and change the order of the dishes. And last minute, he'd be like, no, you know what? I want this dish because this suits the atmosphere better, or, I'm in the mood for this better.
I'm sure you got a lot of appreciation for the production. Because we see the shit, like, even just like YouTube stuff, and we think, light work. But
No, man, the crew was amazing, man. Honestly, those guys are veterans, dude. They came prepared for everything. And I kept saying, I was like, yo, do you guys need anything? You need this? You need me to hold that? And they're like, no, we got to sort it,
What was like the equipment and stuff like real shit?
They used DSLRs for I don't know the exact specifications, but they looked like a lot of DSLRs for the videoing and the photos. He had like a sort of a body harness for the Steadicam and gimbals and stuff like that, and no drones, but they had sort of carry the lighting around, and dude, it was crazy, man. He had like 4 people holding lights just in the right way just to get the perfect shot, because it was a little stormy by the beach, so we had to make it look sunny. So stuff like that. And there's a lot of you have to be really conscious of the actual restaurant staff, because obviously nothing's going to go according to plan, and you may spill over about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then you have to balance the guests and the hotel staff and us doing our shoot, you know. So you don't want to step on anybody's toes. You kind of want to keep everyone happy just to make it smooth. But then something like, hey guys, can we get more cutlery? You know, we need to clean this. Can we get that? And you can see the staff are like, dude, come on, man, we have business. This is business. This is money right here. You know, we got to take care of this stuff. But it was fun, man. And, you know, and we got the craft services, you know. So, you know, we were eating good, and, you know, we kind of had, everyone was so helpful. You know, everyone was just there for us just to make sure things were going good. So all the staff, everything. We had some sick rooms as base camps. I was actually joking with one of the guys. I said, oh, you know, I probably should have slept over at the hotel. You know, and
I'm sure you also, you know, the learning the food and stuff. You know, you can spit some game.
oh yeah, and you know, we get to taste everything afterwards.
And
So I mean, it was cool. I mean, like, all the stuff wasn't great because we'd filmed for so long. It was cold by the end of it. But I mean, there was this one dish. It was a lamb dish, and we were filming, and Michael Ellis, he tasted it, and he went completely out of character and off script, and he just kept eating it because he's like, wow, this is so good, you know. And he's like, stop filming, everybody come taste this, you know. And we're like, what's going on? I'm like, is this part of it? I'm a little confused. And he gets up, takes his mic. He's like, no, come, you guys gotta try this, you know. So it was a lot of fun, man. And it was, I mean, you know, obviously things can get like, you have to balance your emotions and stuff like that, and you know, you have to, like, you can't get too annoyed with this, you can't get too excited with this, and you know, you have to be very critical of your own work. Like, you know what, let's do another take for safety, let's do another this. And dude, it was a lot of fun, man. And then, you know, in the downtime, we get to chill and joke with the crew and whatever, and it's lighthearted. So it was a really fun couple of days. And dude, it was hectic, man, because I mean, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. just to make it there. And the second day, I was the only one with the room keys. So there's a lot of pressure on me to do it. So, I mean, I had to fall asleep the night before, which I couldn't do because I was, like, so stressed. But you want to hit the vape?
No.
But, yeah, and then, it was Monday yesterday, right? So I just wanted to go, like, full suicide mode. So after the shoot, which we started at maybe, like, 6 a.m, we wrapped about 6 p.m., so that's 12 hours a day shooting. And then I went to, because the hotels are right next to where I train jiu-jitsu. So then I went to back-to-back classes because I was early at 6. And dude, by the end of it, I was done, bro. And you know, we were drilling triangle chokes. Okay. So like, I came back, my face was all puffy, and like, I think I got a cut on my lip on the outside, and then on the inside, I got this blue belt pulled a beautiful Peruvian necktie on me. Okay. And I kind of had my mouth open a little bit, and I just crushed my teeth. So
do you guys wear the
mouth guard? No, I just ordered one this morning, actually, because I got cuts all on the inside of my lip. And I was like, you know what? I need to get a mouth guard. So yeah, man. And dude, it was a lot of fun, man. This week was.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine. I mean, anything you see in there that you think like, hey, like, this is something I could like dive into, maybe.
Yeah,
work.
I mean, like, again, it's not my area of expertise. You know, I'm not gonna be the guy at parties to, you know, talk about food and you know.
But not food in general, but I mean, like, because you know, you've seen the production side now.
Yeah, but that's
coming up with
the work is amazing.
Yeah.
The work is amazing. Like, it's so much
fun.
But
what part of it was amazing?
I mean, it's dynamic all the time. You know, you got to be really serious one moment, then you got to switch to playful, and then, you know, you got to think of things before they even happen. Yeah. You know, like, you can see this guy's about to run out of battery, or no, you can't see it, but like, you know, you think, oh, you know, we've been filming for about 25 minutes straight. Maybe that camera's going to be low, so just tap the guy, be like, yo, you got batteries, right? And then as soon as he goes, oh, need a battery, it's already there, you know? And I mean, just keeping everybody hydrated is one thing. And if you see if everyone's really like married to an idea of maybe delivering a question a certain way, and you come in with fresh eyes and you can see something's different, you need to have the courage to step up and say, hey, let's try it like this, you know? Because you run the risk of pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
Like, man, who is this kid, you know? But then if it works out, you just get a better shot, you know? And that gives you a lot of confidence to
and speak, I can imagine, because like when it's like a creative endeavor, I think like, you know, you can get attached to ideas. So like if we're doing something and I'm like attached to it, and then you say, "No, G, like."
No, it was a lot of things.
Who are you?
No, even like I wrote a couple questions, and the guy reading out the questions was like, ooh, this doesn't sound that great. And I had to, you know, I was like, man, come on, man, I wrote those, you know. But then he had to look at the bigger picture and do what's necessary, and then say, okay, so how can this improve, whatever, you know. And then it's a lot of things. Just I remember I had to write some questions up on the fly because I was a little insecure about what was gonna come next, You know, I said,
Okay.
oh, maybe like, I just thought of something funnier, so just write a couple of them up, show it to my boss, and she'll be like, fucking not now, we're already here, you know? Or maybe she'd be like, hey, this is great, like, let's add it, you know? So, yeah.
And what kind of like, because obviously you plan on like studying journalism, and so does
Mhm.
what you did now like
Yeah,
anywhere
definitely,
fall
definitely.
into that?
Yeah, definitely. It may not fall into sort of broadcast nightly news,
Mm-hmm.
although some of the skills are very similar. But even things like sort of crafting packages for the news, like those when the video cuts away from the anchor to like a 4-minute video,
Yeah.
it takes sometimes weeks to produce just that 4-minute video.
Yeah.
You need to get the B-roll, you need to write the script, the questions, research, all that stuff. All that stuff is part of what I did. So it's the same skill set you use,
Okay.
except this was a little more.
I mean, I don't know. Do those kind of guys do if you'd want to like do this on a higher level, like would you also have to study like some sort of film and things
Yeah,
like that?
definitely. You need to take a couple courses in that. I mean, you need to. Even when I was at my previous gig, I had to learn. Even though I was mostly editorial, I had to learn how to cut videos, how to do voiceovers. How to dress a set, not physically, I mean, like, I had to find sort of the most powerful images. You need to have an eye for images, which I didn't have for luxury, but I had for maybe storytelling, but and you have to, like when the anchor comes up on TV and behind them you have an image, like a powerful image of, if it's political, maybe flags. If it's a story about war, you need to find an image that tells the story of what's going on. If something positive, it's positive news, then you need to find something with a lighthearted angle, and you need to choose videos and things like all that stuff. You need to have an eye for that. And there's no, in my opinion, there's no rule book there's no guide, there's no step-by-step definitive way to do it. It's a lot of it is by feel and your own experience, So I mean, if you just study theory all day and go to the newsroom, or even go to a video shoot like this, it's gonna be really difficult for you.
Yeah.
But if you absorb yourself and
I just meant like as cool. Like qualification, or like if you were to apply for a job.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, qualification wise, you probably will have to in any journalism course. You will have to do a little bit of media. Not entirely sure if it's gonna be like camera operating, but definitely some editing skills, writing stuff, maybe even some video stuff. Maybe you'll have to pick up a camera, just.
But yeah, I mean, this sure sounds fun, man. I mean, I think anytime it's something creative.
Yeah, and I mean the have you seen that video, Watchtower of Turkey?
No.
Dude, you should watch that in your spare time. And everybody listening, when you got a minute, just go to YouTube and put in Watchtower of Turkey. Dude, that is some phenomenal like S-tier editing. I think that it took that guy like a year or something like that to make that video. Wow. It's about a 5-minute video, and he's got some insane footage he makes Turkey look like the most beautiful place on earth. And his edits are just like, I don't know, words can't express, words can't express, and everything, the music, and you watch it like 4 or 5 times to really understand the video. And I think it's just a tourism video, but I mean, done so well.
There's so much that goes into this. I mean, like, a big part of, video and stuff, like, I remember like some time back, I got into this rabbit hole of this, which was like the film scoring. Yeah. So, guys like Hans Zimmer and stuff were so known for
John Williams, yeah.
It's like, I mean, it's because, when like we'll watch a movie and, most of the time, like, because we're just like focused on the story, things like that. If you, maybe looking for like the actor and how he delivers the lines,
the
and
casting,
body language, or like obviously nowadays the actor gets like jacked for a role, whatever. So you're paying attention on
like
Kunal,
what's it? Nanjiani?
Kumail.
Oh, dude, that guy's jacked.
Oh man, and I mean it's like it's like he's not even shying away from, like, there's no question of natty. Like, this is like straight up.
He even admitted it. He's like, yo, man, the studio got everything. They had the nutrition, the workouts, like,
No, he didn't say the roids.
Well, I
mean, but no, like, so we'd be so focused on that, whereas like, the music is such a huge part of movies, and even just like, commercials, things like that. Like, you don't. It's one of those things you don't notice it, but it's like it. Because I could like shoot something, and just from the music, it could seem like a happy scene. It could seem like a sad scene.
It's everything, man. Remember Endgame? We watched Endgame together, right?
Yeah.
Right. So remember that, where Captain America picks up Mjolnir and he's like, Avengers assemble, and they play that theme. If you listen to that theme, it's just you
Oh,
filled with
dude,
so much.
the theme is fire,
It's
man.
amazing,
Yeah.
right? And even if I play it now, you're gonna call back to those scenes.
Dude, I used to play like when me and my gang we get on Fortnite, we'd play the Avengers theme.
Everything, man. Even the Star Wars, the New Hope theme.
Yeah.
I think it's called Twin Suns. That's just got a lot of emotion in it. Lord of the Rings. If I play Inception,
Dude,
if I play Interstellar,
Batman.
Oh yeah, man, definitely.
Mission Impossible 2.
Oh yeah, James Bond.
Yeah.
Everything, man.
And it's just like it. Yeah, like even with Bond, like whenever it comes on, it's got this like classy thing to it. It's just everything.
When you came in and you're just like, what are you playing on the speaker?
Yeah.
I was playing the theme song for this TV series called Succession, which you guys should definitely watch. It's the HBO show.
Okay.
And that thing's just like, if I play that, I just feel like I can walk into a boardroom and like tell the CEO to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those things. The music plays a huge part, man.
Oh,
huge
yeah.
part. Yeah.
There's this one you can get it on Spotify. It's from Gladiator.
Oh.
I think it's called Now We're Gone or something like that. Oh, dude. That's what the Hans Zimmer, that's like, bro, like, I mean, I don't know if it's like a workout pump, but it's just like, it's pretty lit, man.
I definitely listen to film and TV theme songs when I'm working. Because I mean they're very atmospheric and they just kind of get you in the zone, because I mean too much lyrics and too heavy of a beat, and it kind of takes you out of it.
Dude, just the Oceans movies, they had like some dope music. I think it was Oceans 12.
Yeah,
actually had like a dope soundtrack.
Yeah.
And a lot of it just too was like, because it was also like in Europe and stuff, so a lot of like that influence and just like guitar or something like like words, things like that. So yeah, man, it's like, it's crazy, man. Like sometimes, I just, when I look at certain, I remember I was watching this, what is that guy's name, man? The guy who's like Michael Jackson's producer for like the longest time, Quincy Jones.
Yeah. Motown. Yeah.
So he also did film scoring, like, and stuff. And it's just like, it's so crazy. And like, even the way they do it, it's not just like, like how we see like, these kids making beats and stuff. I mean, this is live instruments. You got a, guy violin, piano, that, and like getting it all together and like, it's mad, man. Like, I remember I was watching that now. I was like, dude, like, I want to do this. But yeah, man, that's pretty insane. But I mean, obviously, I had a good month and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we can like talk about this, but like, do you see anything like, you see yourself like moving up the ranks? Like, you think you made like a good enough impact?
No, man, because I do. I'm just talking about the good parts, man. There have been some bad parts where like my own kind of personality got in the way, where sometimes I procrastinate a little too much, or just kind of take my eye off the ball, or my boss hit me with the what's it called, analysis paralysis. She's like you think too much. I'm like, yeah, because I'll think for 3 hours to make a 5-minute decision.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's definitely a bad habit I have, because it's one of those, I think I think I'm way smarter than I really am, and I'm trying to like see all the outcomes and whatever, and I just can't make a decision.
Yeah,
so there's definitely I got told off for that, and it sucks, man, to be to be called out on your shit. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I still got another 3 months left. And the thing is, I do wanna head to Boston. So
have you started the prep?
Dude, I can't balance that at the same time, man.
Okay.
No way. With work and just life in general, there's no way I can balance studying for my GRE at the same time. So
but what would you do if like towards the end of the 3 months they're like, yo, like we can give you some.
You can give me something. I'd have to sit down for a couple of days and think about it, because I know if I do get something from them, I won't be able to do Boston for sure, and if I don't, then I know I'll 100% be able to, and I just need to know how bad I want it, how bad I want to go out there, which, I mean, even at this point, I think I really want to go out there bad, because I've been out here for 8 years, and I do love it. I love it here, but I need to head out and get some real experience, get some real like grit,
I mean, is it the qualification you want, or is it the experience?
It's the qualification and the sort of the knowledge that I'm going to absorb by just being in a different land, You know, different customs, different this, different that. Like, you know, it's a whole new world. I was out there for 3 months, and I felt like I learned so much.
Oh
I feel like
yeah.
I learned a year's worth of knowledge, you know. And prior to that, I was a little stagnant, you know, because I was like 4 or 5 months kind of chilling at home, not doing much, you know. So I absorbed a lot.
But what'd
And
you
then,
say like from those three? Cause like you know, cause you went in like the summertime and you weren't
yeah,
like working and stuff.
yeah, no,
So what was it really that you know
no,
you
dude. The thing is,
took
like,
away?
the best part was kind of the worst part as well, because I was away from my friends, and you know, when you're in a different place, you can kind of just be whoever you want to be, because you know, you don't have a lot of people who know you, right? So you can just try anything you want, you know. I mean, I can do that stuff
So
over
next
here.
thing you know, I show up to stay. I see Daniel has a British accent.
Oh, yeah, I'm a New Yorker. Yeah, I've been in my no, you know. But no, it's not that. It's just like, I mean, look, there's nothing stopping me from doing different stuff here, but because it's so comfortable here, and I know people, and I can get back into those old grooves, and you know, kind of stay in a comfort zone. No, even if I could, you know, I could pick up a different hobby tomorrow. I could, you know, try a different thing. But as long as I have that sort of old world still here, it's just gonna be something I always go back to. Because I mean, if it's right here and I start changing up, it's gonna look bad. It's gonna feel bad. More importantly, you know.
Changing about like with the friends.
Yeah, yeah. If I try to, you know, start going out, seeing different people, and what do I make it sound like that? I don't know. If I want to, you know, start allotting more time to doing different kinds of things, like maybe doing courses or going to different meetings, or you know, meeting people in different kinds of places. And then my friends give me a call. I'm always gonna want to hang with them because they're like 10 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
But if I'm, you know, 15 hours away by flight, you know, I'm not gonna feel too bad about it, you know.
But I mean, don't you like if you go there for like studies, work, and stuff? Like,
Mm.
obviously, you're gonna make friends there. And shit like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's not like, it's not about making friends. I'm not gonna lose the ones I have here.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like, wouldn't it be the same thing where they're like, yo,
No.
like let's hang out or whatever?
Yeah, I mean, well, yes and no, because I think we're at this age now where I'm more interested in learning and doing stuff than making friends. And not to say that I'm not gonna make any friends out there, but I definitely will. But I'll definitely pay more attention to, you know, like working on the jiu-jitsu or the uni or the internships or the work, or you know, just anything, like, you know. And the relationships that form would be very productive relationships, you know. I wouldn't just chill somewhere,
Yeah.
you know. I wouldn't just go like watch Netflix at a homie's house and just, you know, like play some ball or whatever, you know, play video games all day. I wouldn't waste days playing video games all day, you know. Which, I mean, it's not to say it's a complete waste. It can be a lot of fun, you know, especially if I'm bonding with the boys back here, you know. We put on some Street Fighter, put on some Tekken, we have some fun. But I probably wouldn't do that out there, because out there I'd just be like, oh, geez, so much stuff that's gonna go away in 2 or 3 years when I come back here. So let me do all of this, you know.
But you think you'd wanna like come, because like obviously like your fams is out there now.
I mean, I gotta do my time out there to get what I need, and then we'll see what happens, man. You know, maybe give Europe a go. Who knows? We'll see what
I mean
happens.
that's one of those things like even for me like, because I mean I have been thinking about it the last like, you know, couple of days, because even my pops like wants me to go abroad to do masters and stuff. Part of it is like I don't want to just go and do some, you know, same shit, business management or some bullshit, right? Because I'm like, yo, if I'm gonna go there, and obviously, you know, you gotta cut the check, things like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's gotta be something like that's cool and something I feel like, you know, would come in handy. And so I don't want to just go and like, oh yeah, like, you know, just get into an MBA course just so I can go to that country and you know, do whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think about also like, again, like you said, like just almost like a fresh start.
Yeah.
Go somewhere new.
Yeah.
You know, say new beginnings, new everything, new chapters.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, with that new everything, it's a new environment to focus on the things you're already good at, you know.
And I don't know, I feel like I want to change, like culturally.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like people wise things. I want like, you
the
know,
new ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously like ideally, I mean, I would like to be in a position where like, you know, if I can get to a point where like, I can like go all over the world, see the place, things like that. Like I do want to, you know, just like have like all kinds of experiences.
I definitely want to have some credibility when I talk, you know.
Yeah.
I don't just want to say like, oh, I could have done that, and I say no, I want to say I did that.
Yeah.
You know. So.
And I think like this is a good time too, because I'm like, you know, right now, I mean, like it's not like too many responsibilities on me,
Best
And,
time to do it, man.
Yeah.
Best time
So
to do
it's
it right
like,
now.
if I can
Yeah.
go there, do all. It's also like, you
Mm.
can sort of even like live life like more and
Yeah,
stuff, and
yeah.
not have to worry about. Cause and that's another thing too. Like, I think like if I was like to remain out here, I think it'd be inevitable where like I had to like start some work with the family, things like that, and then eventually it'd be like, oh yeah, get married or some bullshit.
Yeah, your Uncle Daniel, yeah. You know where he started out.
So it's like, yeah, like that'd be the life, So I don't know. I am like I don't know. I'm like really thinking about like trying to like get out and and I think also just like being a bit like distant from the fams, things like that. And just like because I've never been in that position. I've never been in like a completely like new place, so I don't know anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me neither, man. Honestly.
Yeah, and I want that. I want to like see like what it's like, and how it be, and different weather, different everything. Different like everything's like changed. So I am looking for that experience. So I don't know. Hopefully, I am thinking like this year. I have to like make up my mind soon, because like admission and stuff. I'd like to go in fall, but I don't know. I gotta like figure out like what I want to study though. I was actually looking into law, but it's too much of a mission, man. I'm gonna have to study for like so many years. So I don't know. It's
I
one
mean,
of
it only seems like a mission now, man. But I think once you get into that stuff, I mean, I'm not saying you should go pursue law if that's not what you want to do. But anything, man, like it may seem like a mission right now, but
I mean,
it's
not like it's not a mission in a way where it'll be like too hard. I know if like if I put in a shift,
put in time,
But it's just like if you do that, like, I'm gonna have to do the undergrad again for the third time, and like
hit him with the trippy.
3 times, and so do that, and then and then after that, like masters, which is another process, and like one of my cousins is doing masters right now in law, and like, and it seems like and as far as studies go, I'm not too like, I know if it's something I'm into, like whatever, we figure it out, we got some writers on. No, but it's also a time thing. I mean, like, to have to go and like study full time for another like 5 years, I think that would be like a bit too much.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see like maybe some like media, something like that. That's sort of what I'm looking. I mean, because like I think like something like sports journalism sounds pretty fun,
dude.
Yeah. That'd be something I'd like to get into.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna see what I want. I'm actually I'm gonna see like if I could even like somehow just move out somewhere, and then it's like it's like endless, and you can sort of try to do a bunch of, you don't have to like fully like dive in and do a degree and things like that. Maybe do a course.
Yeah.
See like what you, and I mean, because especially now like we have so many outlets like YouTube, things like that, where you guys are watching us. I think there's like just so much like more possibilities, things like that. And I've seen like so many guys like grow things. I mean, I was just like, that beer biceps.
Yeah.
And like, and I remember like we used to sort of like joke about him and stuff. But like,
I mean, for people who don't know, what's it called? Beer and biceps.
It's called beer biceps. He's a Indian. I think he started off like doing like fitness stuff.
Yeah, just fitness and bodybuilding. I think he's powerlifting now, or is he? What is he?
No,
doing?
so he like went on this journey, and like he's like more like spiritual, and what is he, like a vegetarian or something now?
Yeah,
like he's about that. Like, he does like yoga and shit.
Yeah.
I think he still like goes gym and stuff, but he's not like hardcore whatever. But like he does the podcast and stuff, and he's got legit guys on his podcast, like actors and like big time dudes, and I'm like, yo, and you can sort of like see the grind too, like you can and not just him, like other people, like Lily Singh, the
Superwoman.
Yeah. I've been on YouTube. She been getting mad hate, man. She been getting mad hate. But just in general, I mean, so many guys who you've seen like from the ground up, just like even a couple like FIFA YouTubers and stuff that I seen like, and I seen their stuff like years ago, and they were like very small things like that. And now they're like huge, and they're doing the Twitch stream, all that, getting money, and they're popular.
I think it's just a matter of consistency, man. Even if you have just above average product, if you're just consistent with it,
and so like people want some sort of shit to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, even like I see the guys back home, like
Yeah.
in Pakistan and stuff, like
Yeah.
a bunch of content creators,
Yeah.
doing cool stuff.
A swinery girl,
Yeah,
Yeah. Dude, she's
She's-
funny, man.
yeah, and like
She's really funny,
she's
yeah.
killing the game.
Yeah.
I'd love to see her like do stand up and stuff, but I
Yeah.
think unfortunately, that could be a
Yeah.
bit of trouble. But in general, like I mean, I again, the people doing podcasts, people do all kinds of like even like cool material.
Mm.
Like there's this guy, his name is Moro, and he does he does vlogs, but he has a lot to it. So he actually makes his own music, which he performs like it'll be in the background of the
Yeah,
vlog,
yeah.
and like even the way it's shot,
Yeah.
things like that. Cause I think he studied like
Yeah.
filming or whatever.
Yeah.
So like he doesn't upload like daily. He uploads I think like once or twice a month or something. But it's
Yeah.
like, he has like so much to the vlogs. Not just like, oh hey guys, I'm at the grocery store with my mom or some bullshit. Like,
Dude, I've even seen from the beginning, like one of the guys I train jiu-jitsu with, okay,
Yeah.
his name's Jose. Shout out his Instagram account. Was it Fatty But Sporty?
okay,
And I saw when he just made that with like 80 plus followers, and he's been posting every day. Like that guy's a machine, man. Like he runs in the morning.
what does he post, like jiu-jitsu stuff?
Fitness stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
So I mean, he runs in the morning, like fasted cardio. Then he'll go hit some weights, and then he'll put up his food, his meals, his work, and then he'll do jiu-jitsu in the evening, and then his dinner, and then he'll put up some motivational posts and whatever. I mean, a couple years ago, I would have been like, man, another one. The things I know this guy, and I know it's coming from a good place.
Yeah.
And slowly but surely now he's getting sponsors, and the followers are growing, and I kind of look forward to his content because I mean, look, even if it may not be like my cup of tea or whatever, it's still doing a lot of good for people. And I think he just ran the Dubai Marathon, if I'm not the Standard Chartered Marathon. I'm not sure he did, but he trains for marathons, and like he cycles, cardio, paddle tennis, all sorts of stuff. He's always on. I can see, and he's a bit of an older guy, man. I think he's like 40 plus, or late 30s. But I mean, mad respect, man. This guy's up at like 4 or 5 in the morning, just doing his thing because he loves it. Just keeps him going, and he's growing, and I can see it. I can see the consistency every day is something, and it's starting to pay off. Like I said, with the sponsors, and I think he just got his blue belt like a month ago, so he's getting better at that, and
Maybe I should follow him instead of like Dua Lipa.
Yeah,
But,
it's a lot of fun, definitely.
But I mean, it's legit now, and like these guys are getting shine, like whether it's in like in movies, things like even in like Bollywood and stuff. Some of these guys, they're getting shine. Like those AIB guys.
Yeah. All India. Is that a bad word?
I don't know. I don't know what that means. But
a bad word. All India Bakcha. Dude, those guys are hilarious, man.
Yeah. So
the
even
wedding
like
series, Indian weddings, bro, that was fire, man.
Oh
I
yeah.
love that stuff,
Yeah. So they, I think like you remember that fat guy?
Yeah.
Like I think he did like some appearances and stuff.
We
I
like
think
to say plus size. Omar, come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fat too, so it's whatever.
I'm kidding. We don't really keep it too PC over here.
And even now, he's like he's streaming and stuff, like gaming and shit. But like you're seeing people get it. I was watching.
Actually, sorry, cut you off, but a couple of those guys, they came out to Dubai, I think, for some comedy set.
So I don't know if one of the two of those guys are like were part exactly of AIB, but I know like one of them, he's got like an Amazon thing or Netflix thing.
Okay.
And I think he was also in a movie.
Yeah.
I was even just watching Modern Family, and who's the girl with the big tits?
Like there's like 4 of them.
No, but like the young and the kid, like
What's
from
her
the
real name?
daughters.
There's Ariel Winter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
her, have you? Are you up to the thing? So basically, her boyfriend. This guy's name is Jimmy Tatro,
Okay.
and he used to do like these funny skits on YouTube, like legit funny, not like the stupid like Vine stuff.
Yeah.
Like it was actually like funny stuff, and he even did like a show. I think he put it on YouTube like for free, whatever. And then the second season, I think he got a check from Facebook. So it was called like Real Bros of Simi Valley or something. And it was like basically making fun of like douchebags and stuff. It was like really funny.
Okay.
And I was seeing him on Modern Family. I was like, he was even in I think like Grown Ups 2 or one of those movies,
Okay.
like just like a side role.
Yeah.
And in Modern Family, he's like her boyfriend. So I was like, yo,
Yeah.
like that's what's up. Because I seen this guy from like back in the day, like just making like funny YouTube videos.
Even that guy, man. That guy used to Vine. What's his name, man? King Batch.
King Bach,
King
yeah,
Batch.
Batcho, yeah.
So I mean, he was on what's it called? He was on Easy, that Netflix show, and then he was on. I think he's in like music videos, and he was in like that Babysitter movie, is another Netflix movie, and he's just been all over the place, man. Like on Instagram, like people shouting him out, whatever. He's doing vines with people, doing shorts with people.
Yeah.
Even what's that guy, man? The vlogger, that kid's really. I say kid, he's my age. That guy's really good, man. What's his name? David Dobrik.
Is he good though?
Yeah,
I
man.
haven't seen
I like
that
his
much of
content,
his
man.
show.
It's fun.
Yeah?
Like, I mean, one of my boys put me on it, and I mean, like, it's not really something I'd watch every single day, but like, you could tell that guy's doing really well. He's having a lot of fun. His podcast is popping. His vlogs are amazing.
Dude, but everybody got a podcast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's hard
true.
to say on the pod, but like, yo, like even I see like the Insta shot he's got. I say, this girl Summer, eh?
No. Who's that?
You must have. If you see, she's like known for her ass. She's got like a ridiculous ass.
But
It's-
I don't keep up to date with that stuff, bro.
But basically, it's like her and this like other like girl. I think that girl is also like on Vine and stuff, and they do a pod and stuff. So, but I mean, even just like I've even told you about these Jalen and Jacoby. They used to do a pod. Jalen Rose, NBA player. Jacoby, he's like I think like journalist, whatever. They used to do a podcast. Now they got their show on ESPN. Just like which is sick. And even like you're seeing athletes get into it. I mean, there's like a bunch of like NBA players that do podcasts, things like that. So it's cool. I mean, they obviously give you insight.
Yeah.
And also like when it's on smaller platforms and stuff, they don't care. Like so, they're sort of like cool with speaking how they speak and revealing inside stuff. Shout out to all the smoke. Matt Barnes, Steven Jackson, Stack 5. They they do a podcast, a good podcast. And just even that, like I think they're not the last episode, the one before that, they had Kobe on. So that was like pretty interesting and stuff. And they were like ex-players and they won championship shit like that. So they have respect, but they also like talk about journeys, and it's very like transparent. They talk about all kinds of shit, like even like I think the last episode they had Steph Curry on, and they talked to him about everything, like you've been married to your girl like since when, how's that been, things like so, like real shit, not just like how'd you work on your 3-pointer bullshit, like top 5, who's your Mount Rushmore, that's all you say, like ESPN is like Mount Rushmore, all this shit. It's like, so yeah, I think it's a good space for like entertainment. I do like worry about the oversaturation because it's just like so much of it.
Yeah.
So sort of like
here we are doing our thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess it's like obviously everyone gotta like carve out their niche and stuff, but it is one of those things where I'm like, like some of y'all don't deserve.
Damn, dog.
No, I'm kidding, man. But no, it's interesting, and that's why, like when I say like media and stuff, I want to get in. I think it's a good time. I think it's one of those things. I'm sure like both of us think that we've got what it takes.
Honestly, man, everybody's kind of got it in them. You just gotta apply your skills accordingly.
Look, I want to say everyone.
Most people.
Yeah. No, but it's cool, man. I mean, like just seeing even like things like Joe Rogan and stuff. I've been watching it for so long, and obviously now it's like, he's huge, and like he's making like a huge impact. And I remember who was it? I think it was like Andrew Schultz was talking about like how like after like once you go on that, like it's just like it's a different level of like celeb, like people know you. I think I was even watching some clip, and some woman was on there, and this guy Andrew Yang. He's like candidate,
presidential candidate. Yeah, this guy is presidential candidate.
I didn't know he was that big.
Yeah.
But and apparently like so this woman, she was talking to him, and she was in some place for like New Year's or whatever, and she was talking about how like a lot of people like Andrew Yang, and they like him because of JRE.
Even Bernie, man, he said, "What I'd probably vote for Bernie," and then that started that hashtag I like Bernie. Stuff like that. I mean, dude, having Bernie Sanders on that podcast was the reason I wanted to start this, because I was like, dude, if Joe Rogan could do Bernie Sanders on the podcast, we could definitely do our own thing. And I mean, he puts you onto some really good stuff as well, man. Like one of the most underrated episodes on JRA, in my opinion, is the Miss Pat episode.
Okay.
Did you see that?
No.
Dude, she's one of the funniest people you'll ever hear.
Oh yeah.
Miss Pat, dude, she's hilarious. Bro.
What, is she like a comedian or something?
Yeah, she's a comedian, man. Dude, she has so much fun, bro. A zero filter kind, you know.
Okay.
And it's good. It's just fucking hilarious, man. You know, it got me cracking up at work and stuff. Which I got told off for that. I can't be listening to podcasts.
Oh yeah.
Office. Yeah. No.
How come?
Man.
Because wait, like, did you have it like the video or just like?
No, I mean, well, I have it playing in the background and I'm doing my own thing. But every now and then, like, you know, I'll tab into the what's it called, the browser to just, you know, see what's going on.
Yeah.
And it just looks bad, you know. And I kind of, because I don't have earphones. I have like those giant Razer headphones.
Okay.
And just got these giant headphones on my head, and you know, my boss was like, "What is it? You sitting here gamer style, like, you know, trying to, you know, trying to be in your own world when I want you to be involved with the process or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I gotta stop all that." I don't know, for the past couple of days, because I haven't gone out and bought earphones. I'm waiting for the what's it called, the Pixel Buds to drop. Because of the wireless ones, like the AirPods. And that's coming like in a couple months. So I'm just waiting for those to drop before I go out and buy some earphones or whatever. And so I'm kind of musicless now in the office. That's why focus is a little difficult sometimes, you know. Take a lot of
I mean, I'd imagine like a pod like on the like just the audio like running. That should be I know, like with some small earphones.
Yeah, that's cool. I could do that stuff, but I think it's just like having YouTube open.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Dude, get the Google Podcast out. They have everything.
Yeah, I got to.
GRE and all that.
Yeah.
You can,
No,
even Spotify has podcasts.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, you want to see the video. You want to see what's going on. You know.
Yeah, of course.
But it is what it is, man. You know, you gotta separate your work self and your real self. You know?
I mean, I just think it's like such a part of like life, not just like having something running in the back.
Yeah.
Which I was watching this thing, this guy talking about just you know how much dopamine we consume, and like how you know, it sort of like almost makes us numb in a way. Because like there's no excitement, right? Like if you notice that I don't think you get excited by that much shit, because like we always have some shit, like some stimulus. So I was thinking like, you know, maybe like sort of like turn the shit out a bit, but I'm like, yo, fuck, you know, what
You don't do one of those isolation tanks?
I don't mind, man. Yeah. It sounds, I mean, you know, it seems like.
It was funny.
But you know, Brendan Schaub ruined that for everyone, right? Because he's jerked off. He's like, dude, I was in there. He's like, I was so bored. So
I guess now we just got to make bank and make our own, you know. But no, I was actually just talking about different activities and fun shit to try. Do you remember when you just walked in? I was on the phone.
Yeah.
I was talking to my homie because we're organizing a scuba diving thing this weekend.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I want to check it out and do that stuff. Because I mean, just after these past couple of days, when I saw the sea and just how sort of wild it was, I was like, dude, I need to be in there, man.
Dude, the sea is dangerous, man.
Dude,
the sea is scary.
Fun, man. It's
fun. Oh yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
When those waves were crashing on the beach and it was cold, I literally just wanted to run into them. I just wanted to do that, you know, channel my inner like Laird Hamilton and get on the surfboard and see what I could do.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like sometimes, like you're looking at the sea and it's just scary, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's just like it's so fast, and it's so big. You're just like, what the fuck?
But dude, I love that, man.
But the
I used to hate that. Yeah.
But I mean, you just gonna get like trained and stuff, like in the like a pool.
Nah, dude, it's pretty simple, man. You just kind of, you know, from what I saw the ad, it's like an hour and a bit, like hour and a half.
What, they taking you to the deep end?
Well, I don't know how deep the water is, but I know you get to swim with some fish. And not on the die sense, not in the get murdered sense, but you know, you can jump in and play with some fish. You got the tank and the breather on. And
no, I know, but like, don't they have to like train you for that shit?
I mean, we're not going too deep. I don't think we're going too deep. I think we're just going just below the surface, you know, closer to the reefs or wherever we get some
so it's not like deep sea.
No, man, come on. I mean, my old boss used to do that. She did this scuba cave diving thing, right? Like she went to Mexico. Somewhere in South America. No, it wasn't Mexico. But anyways, whatever. They it's like cave diving, right? So you get the scuba tank on and you squeeze through the rocks, and you just barely fit a human being in there. And, you know, and it's like, I mean, I wouldn't say pitch black, but it's pretty dark in there. And she's describing the process. She had to get trained for that. She went to like pools in London, and they were trained by like ex-SAS on how to breathe, and you know, because if you come up too fast, you can get the bends. You know, there's a change in pressure.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, she was describing that, and they used to do it a lot in like Ziggy Bay in Oman. There's a huge scuba scene over there, and she swore by it being a different world, man.
I mean, it looks
it is a different
spectacular,
world, yeah.
but
Did you do that? You squeeze through a little cave?
get the fuck out of here. No. I mean, not even just that. Like when you, because you know, some people they just go like deep into the sea,
Yeah.
dive down, whatever with the fish.
Yo,
things
those
like
free
that.
divers are insane, bro. Insanity. I mean, I got this, so I probably wouldn't last too long underwater. But
Dude,
I think I just tap, like when I say tap, I mean fucking accept death if I saw a shark. Even if it was a little one, I'd just be like, fuck, take me right now, and I ain't gonna fight you
dude,
underwater.
there's some. I remember even just like again going to YouTube rabbit hole of free solo.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Oh, like, dude, I would need some pants with like that are loose in the ass because I would shit. They would be like bricks. I was just like, you seen that guy, the really famous one? He climbed the Yosemite whatever El Cap free solo.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was like the fastest to do it or whatever, some shit. I was like,
dude, there's that rock climbing thing in Abu Dhabi. Now that you brought that up, I just thought about
fam, this dude
that. Yeah, like rock climbing, fucking
El Cap free solo, nothing. One mistake
Yeah.
is death.
Yeah.
No ropes, nothing.
Dude,
That is mad.
now I kind of want to go climb some rocks, man.
Huh?
Dude, I could barely climb a fucking flight of stairs without shitting myself, bro. You know, look down. Oh, okay. You know,
Damn,
only
man.
lifts for me.
I mean, the sea thing, it looks dope, and like, you know, obviously, you know, seeing some pictures and shit, but like, nah,
Yeah.
G.
I think we're gonna pull the trigger on this for Friday. Definitely
Oh,
try it
yeah.
out. Because I've never done too much water sport. I mean, just a bit of kayaking and kind of it, actually. I remember even then when I was a kid, I think I was like 14, and like, so my homie's house was in this area in Bahrain called Amwaj Island.
Alright.
And that was like the sort of Palm Jumeirah of Bahrain, right?
Yeah.
And his backyard was like beach and then sea. So he had a bunch of kayaks at the house, right?
Kayaking's fun.
Yeah, it's a lot of physically. There's a lot of energy, bro. And so we had to cross this little lagoon to get to the other side to get to the Dairy Queen, because you know we just want to eat some burgers, right? And I was on like the pedalo, like the big, you know, the one you sort of cycle. And I was like, my homie's tired from kayaking. He said, "Yo, let me get on that thing." I said, "Okay, let me get on the kayak, all right." And I tried to, in the middle of the water, like I put one foot in the kayak and it went right over, all right? And
Dude, getting back up.
dude, I was a fucking badass 14-year-old, right? I flipped the kayak, did not have the upper body strength to pull myself back onto it, right? So what did I do? Had nothing to do, right? Had to swim to the other side of the shore, right? I think it was the slowest swim of my entire life, and I was holding the kayak while I was doing it. But yeah, I got to the other side, passed out on the beach, got some Red Bull. You know?
Dude, so I remember like even I went on a school trip to Fujairah. And same shit, man. I was doing kayak, fucking loving it. It was fun, and then until you fall off.
And
I remember
get back up.
I couldn't. I just had to like take the L and just like went back. Like, I remember even like jet skiing, like, and I'm scared of the water. I remember like I went with my buddy, and we had these life jackets on, but I didn't like tie it loose. I didn't like really tighten it. And I was like, yo, whatever, like, and you could go out in the sea a bit. That shit's just scary. Like with the waves and everything, it's like, nah, Jay, I'm not for that. But we're just like in this, like, it was like a small, like, lake kind of. So the water is like, whatever, you know, there's no waves or anything. Yeah. And I remember doing that. And my buddy, he's like a beast at it. Yeah. So he's just like splashing water on me and so like being a fucking, you know, chewed and stuff. So I was like, alright, whatever. So I was like, yo, let me give him some smoke. And I tried to do the maneuver and just flew off. And I was like, no! I just like, and the life jacket was like loose, so it's like up, and I'm like trying to hold on, and it was like so scary. And it wasn't even that deep. It was like, and my buddy's like, yo, chill out, whatever. And I remember even like this other time. Oh, I remember the worst one. It was like a bunch of us, and my buddy's jet ski was like kind of whack. It wasn't as fast. So he's like, yo, like, let me get on yours, whatever. And he's like, just for a bit, right? I think we had like 15 minutes left or something. Yeah. And so he gets on mine, and like I go on the one, and I just couldn't get out. And yeah, again, I took the L on that. So I don't know, but water is
Yeah.
just like not a thing
Yeah,
for
water
me,
your
man.
kryptonite, huh?
Yeah, but I don't want like a cruise. like, like I wouldn't want like go on a cruise or something. But yeah, but it's just all the
Yeah,
scuba
man.
stuff.
Dude, the yacht parties are fun, man. You know, because you just if you got them from long enough, and bring your swimmers with you, whatever.
Yeah.
And just jump into the sea. I remember my homie's birthday last year, something like that. I think I sent you a video or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You just jump into everyone jumping into the sea and whatever, and it's a lot of fun, man. It's not exactly water sport, but
I mean, I don't mind like just chill on a yacht, but just
Yeah.
like doing a whole jump in.
yeah, I
and
don't
all
think a
that.
lot of people would mind chilling on a yacht either.
It's just, no, because I mean, like as far as like fear of water goes,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just I remember this one time. I remember my buddy, like, he started a business, so started getting some money, bought a boat.
Mm.
And I was like, so anyway, so he has this boat. It's like a small boat, and like my buddy, they used to like fishing and stuff. So once he's like, yo, like let's go fishing and stuff. And I had a couple of my friends over, so he's like, yo, like bring them through, we'll go fishing.
Mm.
All right, cool. So we go. As I said, near the marina, there's a lot of fishing, so you actually go fishing there. So we're there, doing the fishing thing, whatever. And then, and obviously, on the way back, it's like, so I remember when we were going, I don't know if you know this, but on the marina, they have like a gas station for boats and shit.
Nah, I didn't know that.
They actually have, just, pretty good. It's like Enoch or whatever.
For
It's
real?
actually lit, yeah. So I remember I went with my buddy, because he got like parking space near the palm or whatever.
Mm.
And so he's going there, and like it was closed because it was like a Friday or something like that.
Mm.
And so we're like, all right, whatever, so we did the fishing and stuff. And then after that, it was like almost out of fuel.
Mm.
And we're panicking. Because, like, even though it's not so far from shore, but it's still like, you're in the water, right?
Yeah.
And it was one of those like, okay. And we just made it. And I was like, fuck.
Yeah. You think they got a kafu? You called kafu for they send a little motorboat out to you.
Yo, that shit's lit, man.
Yeah.
I see. Have you ever gotten it done?
Yeah, I got it done once.
What's the money like?
It's the same price. The fuel's the same price. It's just I think you get charged like 18 or 20 dirhams.
Like delivery,
extra,
whatever.
yeah, delivery charge, whatever. It depends on. I wouldn't say it depends on where you are because they got the trucks roaming all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's about 18 to 20 dirhams, which I think if you're really busy.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean, it
people
costs
might,
like $5.
Yeah, but I mean, you gotta leave the you gotta go downstairs. So if I'm working or something like that, I
Yeah.
gotta go downstairs, open the car. Or,
Well, I mean, it's nice because like I guess some people live in places where there's no gas station nearby.
and especially I think a lot of people who work out here, the only free time they got to fill up gas is when everybody else has free time. So there's a lot of there's a
which
lot
is like
of
on the way to
traffic.
home from work.
Even on the way back now, if I need to fill up gas, I see the line's huge. So I usually wait until like this hour. It's like 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't have the luxury to wait up that late because kids, whatever. So Kafu's a real
Technology,
godsend.
man.
Yeah.
Well, speaking
Ain't no
of
tech,
technology,
bro. Ain't no tech, bro. It's just
no, I mean it's like an app and shit, right?
yeah.
But
Sure.
speaking of technology,
What's up?
TikTok, man.
What's the beef?
Are you on it?
I was like, I wasn't posting.
Is it
but
not just some BS?
bro? Look, first of all, we're older now, right? We don't really have the time.
No,
patience for
okay.
that.
So I'll tell you, right? So I had obviously seen like the cringe stuff, whatever. You got guys on YouTube making fun of it, whatever. So I knew I was like, yo, I'm not gonna get on that. That's not my space, whatever, right? I was talking to one of my cousins. She's like, yo, trust me, I thought it was some bullshit. You gotta get on it. Like it's funny, whatever. It's cool. And she's like my age, so I was like, I like maybe, but I was still like whatever. Speaking to my other boy, he goes, yo, it's actually not bad, man. Like he's like, yo, it's like even I thought it's like some cringe shit, but it's actually not. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. Fam.
What's the beef, man? There's the content on there.
Yeah, but I just like it's kind of good. It's a bit of a boost to self-esteem because I'm like, yo, I like, like I'm not in that big of a shithole. Like, because some of the shit you see, I mean, I don't even want to get. I mean, racist, just some bullshit, man. Like, because there's a lot of content creators from here, and everyone's doing the Filipino accent, and everyone.
Oh yeah, that's the new thing now. Yeah.
That's all I saw. I was like on the For You thing because that's what my buddy told me, right? He's like, yo, you get on that. and they give you all the shit.
Mm.
And it's just like some BS, and a guy doing this accent or that accent, and there's some other shit. People tell me I look this, but it's just like some horse shit. I'm just like,
Dude, people love that. My kids love that stuff, bro. All the 14, 15-year-olds
no,
out
yeah.
there.
So for me, I was like, alright, if kids is doing that, but when it's like, people my
Oh,
age
yeah,
telling
when
me
it's
like,
grown- wait, okay,
you gotta
okay,
give
okay,
it a
okay,
chance.
okay,
I was
okay,
like,
feel you.
bro, like,
Oh no, I thought you meant like when the content creators are like our age.
no,
And they're kind of pandering to the
yeah, and
kids,
like,
yeah.
and people my age is telling me like, yo, check that shit out. So it's like, like, bro, it's like,
I mean, it definitely put me on some music, what's it? I can't even remember the band, but the track Chinese New Year, that's pretty nice track. But even some of the trends, man, like that. What's that song? Whoa, and the dance move is like I throw it to you. And, I don't want to do it on camera, man. But
they just do all kinds of stuff. Just like people putting like Mentos and Coke and throwing it around. It's just like some beer. I'm like, what?
oh, dude, Dubai's got that.
Oh, and just like people did something where it's like girls just go walk and they just fall onto someone.
Oh, well, I mean, that was even happening since Vine, bro. Come on.
Yeah, it was just like that's still like it's like come on.
They got
man.
I think one of the gems to come out of TikTok was the Indian raps.
Indian raps.
Yeah, so like Panini by Lil Nas X and Moonlight by X and
Is that you telling me? You said there's like some Indian versions of it.
yeah, and what's it
shit?
called, man? Lil Tecca's Ransom, like the Indian version.
Okay.
Those are fucking bangers, man. That was so funny. And honestly, sometimes I find myself listening to the Indian version of the song more than the original because it's just funny.
Yeah.
I got black, I got white. What do you want? You know what I mean? Look, it's an awful Indian accent, but it's just fucking hilarious, And then they got some of the more cringy shit. It's like the private school check and the rich kid check and
Yeah, like
what's it called, man? Not rich but not poor check and
yeah,
man, some of that stuff's
I
bad.
mean, I guess like for just kids, like if I was in high school, I can imagine like, whatever, some music in the back, you're doing some funny shit. I get it. Because I was doing that kind of shit in high school, but obviously we didn't have an app for it, so you had to like actually like put in some effort, and and that shit was fire, by the way. I was actually, dude, it was,
Back in my day.
You know what? Actually, the Kobe thing happened. I was actually like going through some of my old pictures on Facebook and stuff, and don't bother trying because all like private and stuff. And it was some like pictures and shit like from high school.
Yeah.
And there was some stupid shit, man.
Love me or hate me, you ain't me.
No. So I never like went that like bad. I mean, there was some bad stuff which I don't really want to talk about because it's like so cringy. But there was just like some, there was some, this is shit. It's like I was like, we came far, man.
I think, dude, thank God I wasn't like too popular with the social media when I was a kid because I used to listen to Game heavy. So documentary and oh dude, I used to be like
just quoting the game.
Man, yeah, quoting the game, running up West Side, all the time. Hated it.
I remember that was the funniest thing in school. Like these guys, your Crips or Blood. This is like a school in Sharjah.
Yeah.
And people just like,
yo, watch your colors, bro.
That was just some BS.
Yo, how are we on time, dog?
So just an hour and a half. That's what I was looking at it. Because, usually we do an hour, but, we thought, it's been a minute. So do a bit more. But, yeah, guys, so on that note.
What is the note?
Cringe shit.
Cringe shit.
TikTok and just...
nah, man. But I'll say on the real, let's like wrap up real quick. What's it called? Like, what you feeling for the next couple months, January is done pretty much. February coming up.
Next couple months, I mean, definitely, my YouTube thing, like, I want to, sort of try to branch out and do some new type of content. And I do want to look into possible immigration or, like, just doing uni abroad.
Canada.
Yeah, man. Canada, man. That's all it'll take us. I mean, there's lots of reasons to too, because like it's also, once you can get out there, it opens up to like going anywhere, travel anywhere, experience it. So I think I'm gonna look into that too. Like I wanna, do some of that. I mean, I pretty much like quit smoking. I just like have like a smoke here and there, just like because it helps me take a shit and stuff. But yeah, cut that. So I was like happy with that. Started going gym too. So
nice.
I want to like take that like do it better. And yeah, man, just figure out some type of content to do. I don't think comedy's ready yet. But yeah, some
I'll
other
have at the
shit.
Apollo, maybe not right now.
Dude, I mean that'd be the dream, man. Netflix special.
Yeah, you right next to Veer Das. Yeah.
Oh fuck that, bro. Don't even, dog. Don't even. That's another thing too, man. Like, I just respect it so much that I know it'd have to be murder. Like the jokes would have to be murder, because it's like you don't want to be that whack guy, man. And you know what it
At
is?
some point, you will be, man. Everyone will be.
No, look, for sure it will be, but like, I mean, in terms of like okay, like someone like Veer Das, right? What? We gonna say whatever. Like, I know you don't fuck with him.
I don't. But I know you don't fuck with him. I know that much.
I don't know, bro. You was the one hating on him.
Yeah, so what's up?
No, but it's just like, yo, like when it's like, yo, you got a Netflix special, so it's like, yo, like people fuck with you, whatever. It's like, yo, like, it's gotta, you gotta come with the heat.
You're saying you gotta produce a minimum standard of quality.
Yeah,
It's a subjective thing, man. Who cares? Whatever.
I guess it is, but it's like, yo, like that was trash. That was trash. I mean, like,
I knew that shit was coming.
no, it's like, no, okay. So for example, right, you look at like, let's say like an Ariana Grande song, whatever, right? Now that's not my cup of tea, but I can listen to that and say, yo, that's minimum quality. Like that's
You
that's
can listen
cool.
to that and sing, bang bang. It's a,
No, but I'm like, I get it. Like I get it that people mess with it. It's cool. Like whatever, right? It's cool. But like, come on, man, that shit was ass. Like that was trash. That was trash. Like, I mean, what else did I see? I think I saw some other shit of him. It's just like, yo, like, come on, man, you gotta bring the heat. Like, yo, and that's the thing. I was watching a bunch of like this. People like hating on Lil Lee Singh, right? But I get it, because it's like, yo, you got the shot, right? You go on late night, and I hear bisexual, brown woman. And that's literally, if you watch everything, it's just, I'm bisexual, I'm brown, and fuck white people. That's all you hear. That's literally all you hear. A woman, I'm brown, I'm bisexual, fuck white people.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. Like, even, I think there was like a song she did.
Oh no.
And oh, dude, you gotta hear that, man.
I'm good, bro.
and that was the thing. Like, literally, this guy, he was talking about how all she spoke was like these 3-4 things, and literally, there's so many clips of her just referencing that she's bisexual, she's brown, she's a woman, and fuck white people. So it's like, yo, like when you're on the stage, yo, you gotta rap. Like, I mean, yo, as a fellow like brown man, as a fellow Indian, when you see that, are you like, that's my dude?
No.
Right?
No.
Like when you see Veer Das, are you like, yo, that's my dude, like represent?
When I see Kumail up there, I'm like, yeah, that's my dude.
That's my dude. Yeah, I see. I was like, I've been rapping for that dude. I seen him. He did this interview with Gal Gadot. Just that, I was like, yo, man, like she knows what Pakistan is. She was asking her about it. I was like, yo, see, and he's from Karachi, man. It's a hometown shit. So I was like, yo, like I was rapping, but the thing is, like I seen his work on that HBO show Silicon Valley, and he was fucking dope in that. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, represent, man. Like I like that. I hope one day I could like get on there, say yo, and because yo, this guy like legit, I look up to this guy because I'm like, yo, he's doing the comedy thing. Even the comedy was, it's again, he wasn't like killing the game, but he was good enough. Like where you're like, okay, there's some quality in this. It's not just some trash.
I'm brown, bisexual woman. Yeah.
So that's his thing. He wasn't even going about the whole like, oh, I'm a Muslim or I'm this. It is some like regular shit. And yeah, like I like that. Like even seeing his work and stuff, I'm like, yo, like, I'm proud of that. Like he's repping us, and always they ask him, yo, Karachi, Pakistan, man, he represents. So I'm like, yo, my G. But then when you see some trash and like it's just like, yo, like this is like you want to be represented well, no? Like outside. So yeah, man.
All right.
I mean, I think with comedy, it's gotta like, you gotta come with some heat, man. Which is, it's very tough. Like, not saying it's easy at all.
Of course, yeah.
But like,
try harder.
Yeah, man. Like, I thought that was really bad, man. I don't even think it was adequate. Like, it was just like, I mean, I watch a lot of stand up like nowadays, and I'm like, all right, it's cool. But that wasn't even, and like, no hate, it just like wasn't. Like, you guys, anyone has Netflix, check it out. Like you know. But yeah, why you make me hate, man? I don't want to be hating.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys. On that note, guys, just do better. No, not do better. Just yeah, man.
All right. Keep it up.
I hope everyone had a good
January.
start of the year,
Mm-hmm.
start of the new decade. What about you, man? What's the plan, man?
Just keep doing what I'm doing, man, and just do it better. You know. No. Okay, no. No, on some real shit. Like, yeah, just try to keep the momentum with everything outside of work, and just try a little harder at work a little smarter. Now I got my appetite's back, especially after those past 2 days. I shoot, I'm full of energy. I feel good. I just want to go get out there and do that. Have been eating a little dirty past couple of days, not even weeks, just the past couple of days. Hotel food's real scrumptious, and I just eat too many salmon bagels. But just get back on track, man, and get the blue belt in a couple months. Hopefully, gotta work for that.
And what about the GRE and stuff?
I mean, dude,
how long does it take to obtain it? Like study, and by the time you get it.
I mean, look, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but I'd say for me personally, I think I need about 2 months of solid studying to get the score I want.
And when is the deadline for application? June?
I think it opens in May and finishes in August.
I'm surprised because if it starts in the fall, how does it end in August?
I mean, you can apply late. Even when I was there visiting, they were like, "Oh, you're applying for the fall trimester or semester, I should say." And I was like, "No." But I mean, you can still apply. I mean, you gotta bring some heat though. Killer essay and real good portfolio if you're applying late. But we'll see, man. I don't know. I gotta figure out what I want to do.
So you got 3 months from now, like Feb, March, April.
Yeah. I think I finish in April. So figure out my work situation. If I want to stay, if I want to go. If I do go, focus on the GRE, get to Boston. If I stay, just reap as much as I can and keep the good balance with the personal life, hobbies and relationships and all that shit, and just keep doing what I'm doing, man. And just like I said, do it better. Things feel good. Feels good so far. Good start to 2020.
All right, man. So we hope you all have a good 2020.
Of course.
And also, yeah, guys, I know we haven't been consistent with it, but hopefully from now on,
like I said, we're going to do better.
Yeah, we're going, we'll hopefully try to get you once a week.
Hopefully.
A podcast.
Things work
and, yeah, guys, just honestly, even for me, I was honestly thinking, I was like, yo, we gotta have that, instill that mama mentality, man. Whatever we do.
Yes. Shout out. 100%.
Shout out Kobe, man. Rest in peace. Shout out to his fams. Yo, guys, we gotta have the mama mentality, man. 24/8, boy. Let's do it. All right, guys.
Take care, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I guess I gotta say that.
Yeah, and share with your buddies, guys.
Yeah, share the
and
buddies.
Interact with us, guys.
Share the love and share the hate if there's any. Honestly, I kind of want to hear anything.
Oh, dude. Point. So by the way, on that note, right? So I was like, because obviously I do my other YouTube thing. You guys can check it out. Omer Ali. I do FIFA player reviews, and so I get a bunch of guys who show mad love and stuff, which is cool. And some guys just ask questions, whatever. And I remember I had this one hater who was just like, yo, you're bad at FIFA, blah, blah, whatever. And another person clapped back at him.
Ooh.
At her, actually. It was and it was like, oh, wait, you're just some ugly bitch, whatever. I was like, yo. So that was cool, man. That was cool.
I'm looking forward to some Dad Soda podcast lovers.
Yeah, man, rabbits. Yeah, guys, let us know if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, any questions or... I really like that. If we could interact with you guys, maybe you guys have some questions you want answered, some wise man. So yeah, guys,
All right,
like and subscribe. See y'all soon.
Peace.